Harihi Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue with Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Now Rupa Goswami is describing the different forms of the Lord, and he described the Avesha forms, the Prabhava forms, and the Vaibhava forms. And now he describes the Paravastha forms. They are the highest forms in the sense that they manifest the full powers of the Lord. And still, inside this category of Paravastha forms, still there is a gradation. Okay, we are text 16. Got it? Now there will be a discussion of the Paravastha forms. The Padma Purana says, the 6 qualities are fully manifest in Nrisimha, Rama and Krishna. They are thus considered Paravastha. The relation between the other two, Nrisimha and Rama, and Krishna, is like lamps lit from the lamp of full 6 powers, manifest in Krishna, Padma Purana. It has been explained that it is contradictory to say that Krishna is an Amsha of Narayana or Vamana, since he is Paravastha. This is what we discussed the previous time. These 2 doubts, that Krishna is an Amsha of Narayana and then of Vamana. Paravastha is now described. This means that Krishna has all 6 qualities of the Lord in full. Among the 3, successively, Nrisimha, then Rama, and finally Krishna manifest more powers. The example is given to conceive of their relationship and powers. So although we say that Krishna manifests more powers, we are more concerned that he manifests more sweetness, because powers are, we can say, fully manifested already in Narayana. He is the Supreme Lord. But Krishna manifests something extra. So Krishna is even beyond God. He's Krishna. Is there something, can God create something more powerful than him? This is the paradox. Some atheists, they think they are very clever. They put forward this argument. So if he can, then it means he's not anymore all powerful. And if he can't, that means he's not all powerful. Well, Krishna is the answer of this. Krishna is the, although Narayana did not manifest Krishna, okay, we're not saying this, but there is something higher even than God. And this is God's devotees. I mean, we know the story of Hanuman, of Arjuna. Krishna always likes to glorify his devotees, and he always likes to place them in a superior position, and he is under the control of his devotees. So, and then Nrisimha, texts 17 to 19. Bhagavatamrita Deepika says, Bhagavatamrita Deepika is the commentary of Sridhar Swami on, I think, Bhagavatam 10th canto? Bhagavatamrita Deepika, I think so. Okay, I offer respects to the Lord, who gives joy to the heart of Prahlada, who destroys ignorance to the devotee, who is effulgent like the autumn moon, and possesses the head of a lion. I worship Nrisimha, in whose mouth resides all eloquence, on whose chest resides Lakshmi, and in whose heart resides knowledge. Vagisha yasya vadane, Lakshmir yasyasa vakshasi, yasyaste hridiye samvit tam Nrisimham aham bhaje. So this is this mantra. This is how Sridhar Swami begins his commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, the chapter entitled The Prayers of the Personified Vedas, Veda Stuti. This is the beginning of his commentary. He offers obeisances to his Ishtadevata, Nrisimhadev. Narada described to Yudhishthira, okay, so Vak Isha, this is the goddess of speech, Vak. So Nrisimhadev is Vak Isha, Hare Krishna. He is the Lord and Master of the goddess of speech. Yasya Vadane, Lakshmir Yasya Chavakshasi, and Lakshmi resides on his chest. Yasyaste Hridiye Samvit, and in his heart resides Samvit, which is the knowledge, consciousness. Narada described to Yudhishthira the anger of Nrisimha, who was born from the pillar and astonished Brahma when he began roaring loudly. Bhavarta Dipika. The author now describes separately the Paravastha of each, beginning with Nrisimha. Parindra means a lion. Parindra, I guess this is Para Indra. I'm not sure. Vagisha means eloquent. Samvit means the power of all knowledge. Yasasti Hridiya Samvit. So in the heart of Nrisimhadev resides the power of all knowledge. And in his mouth resides the goddess of eloquence, speech. And on his chest resides Lakshmi Devi, goddess of fortune. The anger of Nrisimha was described to Yudhishthira by Narada. These are from Sridhara Swami's, these are from Sridhara Swami's commentary, right. So this is... 7th canto says, the hair on Nrisimhadev's head shook the clouds and scattered them here and there. His glaring eyes stole the effulgence of the luminaries in the sky, and his breathing agitated the seas and oceans. Because of his roaring, all the elephants in the world began to cry in fear. Airplanes were thrown into outer space and the upper planetary system by the hair of Nrisimhadev's head. Because of the pressure of the Lord's lotus feet, the earth appeared to slip from its position, and all the hills and mountains sprang up due to his intolerable force. Wow. So sprung up means they became taller. So like if you press, and then you create a small hole, and then everything goes up. So the Himalayas, they became higher, taller. Because of the Lord's bodily effulgence, both the sky and all directions diminished in their natural illumination. Nrisimha's anger at the demon is described. He broke the agitated clouds with his mane. By his glance, the planets became bereft of effulgence. So can you imagine? There is no luminaries anymore, because Nrisimhadev's glare is so bright that Hare Krishna, that you don't see anymore the sun and the moon. The sky was filled with airplanes strewn about by his mane. Strewn. By the pressure of his foot, the earth moved from its orbit. Text 22. Though Nrisimha is fierce, he is gentle with his devotees, just like a lioness is friendly to her cubs but ferocious with others. But it will be difficult to serve Nrisimha if he is so ferocious. This verse answers, though ferocious, he is cool as the moon for his devotees, especially when he is in Sridham Mayapur, then he becomes even more merciful, because the nature of the Dham that is the most merciful place, Audarya Dham. So he's very gentle with the devotees, of course. He's beneficial for the demons also, but not necessarily very gentle with them, but beneficial. He's absolute. The abode of Nrisimha, the Supreme Lord, is in Janaloka. He is also glorified in Vaikuntha, beyond the material world. Also, Nrisimhadev is in Goloka, in Gokula, because one of his names is that he's the protector of the youthful Krishna, so they pray to him. So he's there. And also in Rupa Goswami, in Vidagdha Madhava, I believe, or Lalita Madhava, one of these books, he makes the connection. Krishna tells Radharani there that, my dear Radharani, not only me, but all my avatars are worshipping you. And somehow Nrisimhadev also was mentioned there, that he's also a worshipper, or somehow connected. It was a very esoteric verse. I couldn't grasp the meaning, but somehow there was a connection between Nrisimhadev and Radharani's lips. What connection is this? I'm not sure, but there was some very esoteric. Yes.
How is it said that the form of the half man, half lion, Lord Nrisimhadev form, it was the first time it had ever been heard of?
Yeah.
They never knew what it was because they never heard such a sound. If he lives on Janaloka.
Right. Satyam vidatum nijabrite bhashitam vyaptim chabuteshu akileshu chatmanaha adrishya syat rupam bhutam adrishya syat bhutam rupam udbhaham stambe sabhayam namrigam namanusham. In Bhagavatam, Narada Muni says that it is unseen, this form, adrishya, adbhutam, it's inconceivable. Rupam stambe sabhayam namrigam. It is namriga, namanushya, it's not a beast, it's not a man, and it appeared just because the Lord wanted to confirm the words of his devotee, because he saw him in the pillar. Therefore he appeared from the pillar. Just he wanted to prove to the whole universe that whatever his devotee says, it is true. Is he everywhere? Yes. Is he in this pillar as well? Yes, he is in the pillar, so he appeared from the pillar. And regarding your question, how do we reconcile this? I'm not sure. I thought also about this. I'm not sure. I can only say that all avatars of the Lord, it was described before, they're ever fresh, and they're always nava, always new. All the pastimes, they're never the same, never boring. So, although they appear to us with material consciousness, they are the same or similar. Every time they appear, they are different. That much I can say. But I'm sure there are more deep explanations, but I just don't know. But it's a nice, good question. If he is eternal form, how is it unique? But this is a question that can be asked for all the forms of the Lord, right? But specifically for Nrisimhadev, it is stated that this is unseen before. So maybe this was in the first day of Brahma, when it appeared the first time in this universe, maybe, I don't know. You know something?
I was just thinking maybe it's the first time that Hiranyakashipu had seen the Lord. But, yeah, who knows? Maybe
because it is.
It was in the Chakshusha, so it was the sixth month.
Yeah, it's not in the first. Maybe because it is a combined form between a human being and a lion, so it's something very. But there are other forms like that, like Hayagriva and Hamsa. No, Hamsa is not like that. Hamsa is okay. Anyway, something to meditate. Maybe Krishna will reveal the answer. Otherwise, it's too cheap, too easy. The abode of Nrisimha, the Supreme Lord, is in Janaloka. He is also ever glorified in Vaikuntha, beyond the material world. Ramachandra. Rama is endowed with unlimited sweetness, much more sweetness than Nrisimha. He displays the 6 qualities in abundance. One of the acharyas, he said that when Nrisimhadev appeared, he didn't have a father. His father was the stamba, the pillar. So Nrisimhadev told, I cannot really experience this rasa of being a child to my devotee, so I want to appear again. In my next incarnation, I want to appear in a so-called proper way from a parent. So then Ramachandra, but then Ramachandra also was not completely 100% pleased. Of course, this sounds like really, because the Lord is always, he resides in bliss, he is bliss personified. But anyway, he wanted to experience more intense and deep rasa, so then Krishna, like this.
Does that mean would it imply that the Lord's incarnations, they produce another desire in the Lord to then incarnate?
Yeah.
In a more refined way?
Yeah, because even Krishna, this is described in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There is a chapter called The Reasons for the Appearance of Lord Chaitanya, the internal and external reasons, and before this is described, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes the reasons for Krishna's appearance, and there what you say is explained that Krishna could not fulfill all his desires in his form as Krishna, and then he decided to appear as Lord Chaitanya. So yes, so. But it seems that Lord Chaitanya is the last word of the.
And like Lord Rama, with his brother was younger, so then he incarnated as Balaram, so he'd be the elder brother of Krishna.
Yes, I remember reading in Brihad Bhagavatamrita that when Gop Kumara was in Ayodhya, he was in with Ramachandra. Then although he was very, very happy, he was in bliss, but still he noticed that the expressions of love between Ramachandra and his devotees, they were somewhat hampered, or what's the word, somewhat diminished by Ramachandra's maryada, or duty-bound mood. So this is something that he noticed. So then he had to proceed further. This verse defines Rama's Paravastha condition. Nrisimha displays abundant power, Prabhava Bhuma, while Rama displays abundant sweetness, Madhurya Bhuma. So Rama also displays the abundant power. But on the top of it, he displays also sweetness that just Nrisimhadev didn't want to display. He displayed it he also put Prahlad Maharaj on his lap, and he patted him on his head, and also Nrisimhadev, just like a lion, he licked the body of Prahlad Maharaj. So he did all these things, but it was just on this occasion, just kind of restraint to this pastime with Nrisimhadev, with Prahlad Maharaj. Although we read that there are many Vilasa expansions of Nrisimhadev, Lakshmi Nrisimha, and they have many different pastimes there, which we don't know so much. It is said in the Padma Purana, I worship the son of Raghu, the Lord of all beings, who broke the bow of Shiva and who was the moon of joy in Sita's heart. This reminds me about the verse from Bhagavatam. Premna anuvritya shilena prashraya vanata sati biya hriya cha bhavagya vartu sitaharam manaha. this is a description how Sita Devi captured the mind of Lord Ramachandra. So this is the recipe, the definition of how do you control somebody in a pious way. Because people want to control other living entities in a pious way, by force, by fear, by coercion. So Sita Devi, she was always submissive to her husband. She was understanding his desires and fulfilling these desires. And in this way, she captured completely the mind of Sita Haram, Bhartu Sita Haram stole away the mind of Ramachandra. So the modern feminists or other materialistic people, they have other idea how do you control your husband, or by being the show him who is the boss. It doesn't work. It won't work in other way. If the man, the husband, also tries to also control by power. So this is the way how it works. By devotional service, by selfless service, by surrender, then you control. This is what Krishna says also. In 9th canto, he says that just like the chaste wife controls the husband, in the same way, my pure devotees, who are equal to all and completely detached and completely attached to me in the core of their hearts, in the same way, they control me, just like the chaste wife controls the husband. So that's the way. That's how you control the Lord. That's how you control your environment, by selfless service.
Out of love.
Yeah, that's the only way. Otherwise, even if you manage to establish your reign, and people will, at one point, they will find a weak spot, and people are observing different animals, how they behave in nature. And chimpanzees, they are. So they have also this alpha male character, who at one point he becomes the boss, the king of the whole herd. But there are different types of this situation. Those who are just ruthless, and because they are strong, stand the strongest at the moment, they just establish their power, their rule with gross power. Then they tend to their reign tend to be shorter, and then the end is very violent. They just 2 or 3 of other males, they just come together and they just kill the guy in a very brutal way. But those who work in cooperation with others, they don't just establish themselves, but they try to please other members of the herd. Then they tend to rule for a longer time, and then the end is kind of okay. And they're just being replaced, but not killed, like this. Okay. Ramachandra Chandrika describes his birth. Rama appeared with undescribable glory, possessing unprecedented powers, qualities, and form, like the fire from the pure kindling stick of Ayodhya for burning the demons on the 9th lunar day, when 5 planets were exalted, and the moon was conjoined with Jupiter in the ascendant of Cancer, in the constellation Punarvasu. The sun was in Aries. This gives the correct information about Rama's birth, with principal glory, being undescribable because of most astonishing powers, qualities, and form. He was born in pure Ayodhya, which was like a pure stick for producing fire for sacrifice. He appeared for burning up the firewood in the form of all the demons. Palasha means eater of flesh, or a Rakshasa. He was born in the 9th tithi of the waxing moon, Ram Navami, During the Chaitra month, the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn were exalted, respectively in Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, Pisces, and Libra. Jupiter was in the ascendant with the Moon. Sun was in the 10th degree of Aries. Mars was in the 3rd degree of Capricorn. Jupiter was in the 28th degree of Cancer. Venus was in the 27th degree of Pisces, and Saturn was in the 20th degree of Libra. It's amazing how we know the chart of the Lord. When the Lord appears, we know his astrological chart. That's.
And he was millions of years ago.
But therefore, other people from other traditions, they're envious, many of them. And they always try to diminish the Vedic Dharma. Because they just don't have these things. They don't know. They have no idea. They're not even sure whether the God is a person or not. Here we are talking that that Krishna is even beyond God. Because and let alone Lord Chaitanya. We don't even talk about this. And yeah, amazing. Text 29. He is described in the 11th canto. O Mahapurusha, I worship you. I worship your lotus feet. You gave up the association of the goddess of fortune and all her opulence. Tyaktva su dustyaja surepshita arajya lakshmim. So tyaktva, give up what is very difficult to be given up, the association of Arajya Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, with all her opulence, which is most difficult to renounce and is hankered after by even the great demigod Surapshita. Being the most faithful follower of the path of religion, Dharmishta, you thus left for the forest in obedience to the order of your father, Dharmishta Arevachasa Yatagataranyam, and pursued an illusory golden deer created by the trick of Ravana, Mayamrigam Daita Ipsitan Anvadavat, which was desired by Sita. Vande Mahapurushate Charanaravidam. Kara Bhajana offers respects to Rama. O Rama, I offer respects to your lotus feet, which gave up the goddess of wealth, who is sought by the devatas, but is hard to attain, and went to the forest on the order of your father and pursued a golden deer desired by Sita. O King Nimi, fixed in Dharma, Dharmishta. Oh, so Dharmishta is for King Nimi here, not for Ramachandra. So in the Acharyas explain that this verse glorifies Ramachandra, also Krishna, and also Lord Chaitanya simultaneously. Because this can be also said for Krishna, for Lord Chaitanya, because he gave up the association of the goddess of fortune, and he went to the forest in obedience to the order of the Brahmana. Who was this Brahmana? Who cursed him. Brahmana cursed him that he will not have family happiness. So Mahaprabhu followed this. He went to the forest. He went to Puri. He also went to the forest. He went to Vrindavan. He was in South India for a long time. And then, how about Mayabrigam, the Ita Ipsitan Anvadavat? He pursued the golden deer desired by Sita. So Mahaprabhu pursued the conditioned souls who are bewildered by Maya, Mayamrigam. So this is how it is described. And also it applies to Krishna, but I don't remember how exactly. But there was also. And therefore Shadbuch, Krishna, Mahaprabhu, and Ramachandra. So this verse, because in the place where I am from, we have a deity of Shadbuch on the altar. So this is very appropriate verse to chant in front of Shadbuch, because it glorifies all three of them, Krishna, Ramachandra, and Lord Chaitanya. It's one shloka. You don't have to chant three, you just chant one and it includes everyone. And it's bona fide, it's in 11th canto, you can read. Acharyas explain it in this way. In the 9th canto it is said, Lord Ramachandra's reputation for having killed Ravana with showers of arrows at the request of the demigods and for having built a bridge over the ocean does not constitute the factual glory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ramachandra, whose spiritual body soul is engaged in various pastimes. Lord Ramachandra has no equal or superior, and therefore he had no need to take help from the monkeys to gain victory over Ravana. Shuka speaks this verse. He, Lord Rama, built a bridge over the water and killed demons with his weapons. Though these acts are described with amazement by poets, they are not actually a praise of Rama. The reason is given, his power is unequaled. Anyway, does such a person need help from the monkeys for killing the enemies? No. Thus, taking the help of Sugriva and others was only a pastime. The reason for such a statement is given. He assumed a body for pastimes at the request of the devatas, such as Brahma. He appeared at the request of the devatas. So Ramachandra wanted to give credit to his devotees, like Hanuman and others, Angada, Sugriva, Jambavan. Therefore, he got all this army, and also the Lord, he doesn't like to be alone. He wants to be with his devotees. So he wants to share all his glories with the devotees. So if we sometimes think that it's just me and Krishna and we disregard the devotees, we won't fit in the Goloka Vrindavana. Because this mood is... Krishna doesn't have it, the devotees don't have this mood. Lord Ramachandra's spotless name and fame, which vanquish all sinful reactions, are celebrated in all directions, like the ornamental cloth of the victorious elephant that conquers all directions. Great saintly persons like Markandeya Rishi still glorify his characteristics in the assemblies of great emperors like Maharaja Yudhishthira. Similarly, all the saintly kings and all the demigods, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, worship the Lord by bowing down with their helmets. Let me offer my obeisances unto his lotus feet. Having shown the aim of Rama's pastimes, the speaker gives proof of this. In the assemblies of kings like Yudhishthira, the sages such as Markandeya still praise his fame. What type of fame does he have? His fame is his ornament, like the cloth of the elephant who conquer all directions. That means his fame conquers all directions. I surrender to that Rama. How is he described? The crowns of the devatas, such as Indra, and of the kings, touch his lotus feet. A friend of mine told me that he was somewhere in South India with another devotee, and they were taking prasadam in some large dharmashala, and they happened to be together with many hundreds of Ram Babas, worshippers of Ramachandra. So one of them, while taking prasadam, he told him, okay, now you glorify Lord Krishna, and then we'll glorify Lord Rama. So let's start. Okay, you glorify Lord Krishna, and then they, Shri Krishna ki jai, only two of them. And then this Baba said, okay, here now. Ramachandra Bhagavan ki! And then there were like hundreds of these Babas, they were shouting, whoa, jai! And then he turned, you see? Then it was a friendly joke between Ram Babas and Krishna Babas. So they were in greater numbers at this particular occasion. So, here is an explanatory verse. He appeared with a form for performing such pastimes, Lila Tanu, because his Swarupa, Dhamma, should be understood to be without a superior or equal. His glory is far beyond all others. The suffix ya is added to sama to make samya with no change in the meaning. There is no one equal to or superior to him. Nakapala refers to the devatas such as Indra, and Vasupa refers to the kings of the earth. 3 verses explain the 2 Bhagavatam verses. verses 30 and 31. He appears but is not born, because his spiritual form cannot be born. Vasupala means Vasuda, earth, Pala, protectors. The avatars, Rama and his brothers, are glorified in the Vishnu Dharmottara, respectively, as forms of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Aniruddha and Pradyumna. The positions of Rama and his brothers are described here. Adi refers to Bharata and Shatrughna. The four members of the Chaturvyuha are described in Vishnu Dharmottara as Rama, Lakshman, Bharata and Shatrughna. In the Padma Purana, however, Lord Rama is described as Narayana, and Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna are described respectively as Shesha, the Chakra and the Kanch. Another opinion is expressed in Padma Purana. This should be considered to be identity in a different kalpa. The dwelling place of Rama is situated in Madhya Desh, in the city of Ayodhya, and also in Mahavaikuntha. This describes the abode of these four forms. The word Asya indicates Rama, his brothers, and followers. Though the statement Eti Chamshakala in Srimad Bhagavatam shows Rama and Nrisimha as amshas of Krishna, by the above statements, the idea that they are amshas should be dismissed. So they are not technically amshas. Amsha in Bhagavatam means that they are vilasa forms. They are almost the same, but not amsha, not distant. That's the meaning. So do you know who is the main hero in Ramayana? Who is the main character there? No? Ramachandra? Okay, some other opinions? Lord Rama? Hanuman? Okay. Hanuman? Okay, Rama 2, Hanuman 2. So, how about... Who? Oh, but you already said Rama. Okay, but you're right. Because Valmiki explains that Ramachandra was recited by Lava and Kusha in the assembly of Ramachandra. This is how it happened. Lava and Kusha were the sons of Ramachandra, but they didn't know that this is their father, so they were told by Valmiki, Ramayana, and then they were reciting it in different places. So, and this is the argument. If Ramachandra was the main hero, the main character of the Ramayana, he would not have sat down and listened to it, because it is not civilized to hear your own glories. So therefore, the main hero was not Ramachandra, it was Sita Devi. And also we know the injunctions, the Shastric injunctions that one should hear in the morning, one should hear about gambling. In the afternoon, one should hear about women, and in the evening, one should hear about stealing. So, have you heard this? No. This refers to, in the morning, one should hear about gambling, that's Mahabharata. And in the afternoon, one should hear Ramayana, which is about women, that means Sita Devi. And in the evening, one should hear about stealing. Who is the butter thief, Makanchur? So.
But Lord Rama's pastimes are to teach that one shouldn't be attached to women because they bring problems.
Yes, that's also there. It
says
is.
that in the Bhagavatam.
Yeah, yeah. When Sita Devi is kidnapped, then Ramachandra laments, and then this is the commentary. Yes, he shows, and also, but also he shows how the husband should protect the wife. That's another lesson. Even if it's very difficult, then still he has to do anything in his power to protect his wife. That's another lesson. Okay. Krishna, text 37. Bilva Mangala describes Krishna. There may be many avatars of Krishna delivering auspiciousness everywhere, but other than Krishna, who gives prema even to the creepers. Now begins an explanation of Krishna's Paravastha. Though it is said in Ramayana that the trees and other plants wept when Rama went to the forest. They wept out of sorrow on separating from Rama on one occasion. Whereas the reaction of the trees in relation to Krishna, however, is daily. Even on meeting Krishna, in Bhagavatamrita it is described that when Gopkumara entered Goloka, then he saw this very intense emotional state of the Vrajavasis, and he could not determine whether this is caused by extreme pain or by extreme happiness, because it looked very bewildering. It's very intense, emotional life there. It's not boring. Even on meeting Krishna, so even when they meet Krishna, this is understood from the following verses. Dear Krishna, what woman in all the three worlds wouldn't deviate from religious behavior when bewildered by the sweet, drowned-out melody of your flute? Your beauty makes all three worlds auspicious. Indeed, even the cows, birds, trees, and deer manifest the ecstatic symptom of bodily hair standing on end when they see your beautiful form. The creepers and trees of the forest, their branches weighed down by rich coverings of flowers and fruits, seem to manifest Lord Vishnu within their hearts. Exhibiting eruptions of ecstatic love upon their bodies, they poured down rains of honey. So this happened only once when Ramachandra was leaving Ayodhya, but this is a daily pastime in Goloka. So this is the point, that Krishna manifests even more sweetness. The associates of Krishna during prolonged separation from him remained in existence with only the beauty of Krishna constantly in their minds. This shows his superiority to Rama. Statements such as the following show Krishna's supreme position. What austerities must the gopis have performed? With their eyes, they always drink the nectar of Lord Krishna's form, which is the essence of loveliness and is not to be equaled or surpassed. That loveliness is the only abode of beauty, fame, and opulence. It is self-perfect, ever fresh, and extremely rare. Okay, text 38 to 39. Krishna, as the son of Devaki, an ocean of unprecedented sweetness and power, whose abodes are well known as Vraja, Mathura, Dvaraka, and Goloka in the Puranas, will be described subsequently. Okay, now Rupa Goswami describes Krishna. The word Devaki Nandana here has a double meaning, son of Nanda and son of Vasudeva. The sweetness of the son of Nanda is most prominent because in that form Krishna exclusively plays the role of a human being. As the son of Vasudeva, the powers are more prominent because Krishna at that time performs pastime prominently as a Supreme Lord. The son of Vasudeva displays pastimes filled with power and ornamented with sweetness. So they are Aishwarya, but there is also Madhurya, sweetness. It is like a beautiful mirror with some specks on the undercoating. The son of Nanda displays pastimes filled with sweetness and decorated with power. So this is the difference. It is like a mirror whose black surface is covered with flawless quicksilver and therefore perfectly reflecting. Though both are wonderful, the superiority of the son of Nanda is revealed in this example. The word paricharishyate means will be described. The meaning of the rest is clear. The word eva is used once, but should be understood to follow each place, since the 4 places are taken together, like a fistful of items, which doesn't indicate that Goloka is superior to Vraja. And this 32, this is called Pana Purana Nyaya, the example of the full feast. Though the feast may hold many items, we can think of the whole as one item. Thus the word eva does not apply to the last item alone, but to the whole group. Okay? So Goloka is not superior to Vraja. Vraja means Krishna's abode, and Goloka means the generic term for the spiritual world, Vaikuntha also. But Nrisimha and Rama are equal to Krishna according to what was previously said. One should consult the Vishnu Purana for the answer. Some people may have this doubt. Though it has been said that Krishna is the Swayam Rupa, the author has also said that Nrisimha and Rama are equal to him. Did the author forget what he had previously said? This verse begins to remove that doubt. The author has not forgotten what he had said previously, but gradually progresses to describe Krishna after describing all others, just as one ascends a ladder step by step. So here the doubt is, they are Paravastha forms, and they manifest the full powers of God in one sense, but still, we still have gradation inside these Paravastha forms, and Krishna is on the top. How is this not contradictory? And now there is a discussion which we will not go through. We'll just try to summarize, because we have to start summarizing now, otherwise we have 1 week left and we have to go somewhere. So the discussion is how Krishna is the highest amongst all Paravastha forms. Why? And there is a quotation from Vishnu Purana, where Maitreya asks a question. And the question is, the soul taking bodies of Hiranyakashipu and Ravana and Shishupala is the same soul, the same person. This is Jaya from the spiritual world. So the question is, he was killed 3 times by the Lord. Why did he not attain liberation when he was killed by Hiranyakashipu, by Nrisimhadev, and by Ramachandra? And he attained liberation only when he was killed by Krishna. This is the question. And in answering this question, who is Parashara? Okay, this is a conversation between Maitreya and Parashara. Parashara explains that the answer, the reason for this is because Krishna is the highest form of the Godhead, and only he is able to give liberation. Why? Because Krishna manifests this his attractive Shakti that attracts the mind of the person, the demon in this case. And he didn't do this when he was appearing as Nrisimhadev. This Shakti was not manifest. Therefore, Hiranyakashipu, he was not even aware that this is Vishnu. He didn't know. And then even as Ravana, also Ravana was so bewildered by lust that he thought that this is just, Ramachandra is just a human being who attained this kingdom by pious activities. And although his wife told him that, no, this is not an ordinary human being, this is the Lord, he heard this, but it was not real knowledge for him. It's like entered here and went out, because he was so determined to have Sita Devi. Only when he was born as Shishupala, and the result of this, when he was when Hiranyakashipu was killed by the Lord, he attained the position of Ravana, which was very opulent position. He was the Trilokeshwara, just because he was killed by the Lord. And there is a quotation from Vedanta Sutra where Vyasadeva says that if a demon is killed by the Lord, he attains great power in the next life. And then when he was killed again by Ramachandra, he also attained birth in great family as Shishupala. But then Shishupala, he was absorbed in Krishna by his hatred. And Krishna manifested this attractive Shakti, and which absorbed the mind of Shishupala to such a degree that he was chanting the names of Krishna and he was thinking about his form, and this gradually absorbed his mind completely. And then when Krishna killed him, I'm going to read this. Okay, so text 46, maybe you go there. The essential cause of all names of the Lord lies in Krishna. Shishupala, having a mind absorbed in enmity to the Lord for continuous, countless births, uttered the unlimited names of the Lord produced through his pastimes at that time. Moreover, Krishna's form, with eyes like unfurled lotus petals, wearing pure crown, armlets, necklaces, and bracelet, clothed in bright yellow cloth, and holding on his four broad arms the count, chakra, club, and lotus, did not leave the mind of Shishupala at all, because of his deep enmity. While he walked, ate, bathed, sat, and slept. So the last sentence of the purport. Thus his mind became absorbed in Krishna out of hatred. As well, his mind became attracted by the sweetness of Krishna's form. So he was attracted although he hated Krishna. He couldn't help. Just like when in Krishna book there is a description when Kalayavana saw Krishna, he couldn't help himself but to appreciate Krishna's beauty. He was attracted, and he has heard the glories of Krishna, and he wanted to fight him, and he ran after him, but Krishna didn't want to fight with this sinful king, so he ran away. And then Kalayavana was surprised. He said, I heard so much about you, that you're a great hero, and now I cannot believe you are running away from your enemy on the battlefield. You define your name. So he was appreciating Krishna, although he wanted to fight him. And here also, Shishupala. But Kalayavana was not so lucky, because he was not killed by Krishna. He got it from Muchukunda. And Krishna killed Shishupala. And here, text 48. Killed quickly by the chakra of the Lord, and having his powers of sin burned by remembrance of the Lord, he was brought to the Lord and enjoyed the embrace of the Lord. So this is what happened to Shishupala. And the previous text 47, abusing Krishna by his names and holding his form in his heart, Shishupala, freed from the fault of hatred, finally saw the Lord with a brilliant, indestructible form, glowing with rays of his chakra held in his hand and meant for killing him. So this is how he saw. Finally he saw the Lord. He saw the Lord in the last moment, as the Lord, ready to kill him. Wow, this is the Lord, and then the Lord just killed him. It's here the purport. Though his utterance of Krishna's name and meditation of his form was done with hatred, he became free of fault, just as if being touched by the Lord when he was killed. Then, by the touch of the chakra, he saw the real form of the Lord and attained prema. So Shishupala attained prema just when the chakra touched him, and then he realized Krishna, then Krishna embraced him, and then it was done. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
I've read somewhere, I don't know if it was in this book later on, but it mentioned that these three forms of Jai and Vijay, they didn't attain love of the Lord. So then they went to Brahman, and Shishupal obviously attained Shiruja Mukti. But they came back again in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, and only at that time they attained actual love for the Lord, and then they went home. Because then they became these drunken brothers.
Yeah, correct.
And then they actually, did it properly.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in this book later on, but I read
I doubt it's in this book because here he doesn't discuss, but yeah, he doesn't discuss Lord Chaitanya. Although, by the way, Lord Chaitanya is one of the Paravastha forms also. So there are 4, not 3.
Yeah.
But Krishna and Lord Chaitanya are not different, so. Yeah, good point. Thank you. So, then there was another interesting point here I want to make before we end. Text 50-51. In the Vishnu Purana, you find it? 50-51. In the Vishnu Purana, Parashara does not mention that Jaya and Vijaya were associates of the Lord from Vaikuntha, but simply took 3 births to attain the Lord. Thus, one should not think that in all kalpas the associates of the Lord fall from Vaikuntha and become Hiranyakashipu, etc. If there were always associates, it would not be proper to have them fall in every kalpa. So it is. Yeah. So it's not every kalpa. It happens. It is rare or unique even occasion. So people from Vaikuntha don't fall. We shouldn't be worried that I'll go to Vaikuntha and then I fall down.
Every kalpa.
Every kalpa.
That means every day I perform 1,000 times to fall down.
Then what's the meaning of Krishna saying in Gita that once? So it's therefore Rupa Goswami makes the point that don't worry. Yes.
That would also lead on to the next thing, that the 4 Kumaras, they would then have to go into ignorance and then attain, they'd have to be impersonalists and then attain the Lord in Vaikuntha in order to curse them. And they'd have to do that every day.
Can you imagine? Yeah. And they live the whole, they're Chiranjiva, they live the whole universe, the whole universal time. The Kumaras, Narada Muni. It's rather boring, no? Every time I have to curse these guys now. Alright, so we'll end up here, and then tomorrow we'll continue with next part of the study guide. Text 52 and 56, this is the Paravastha, discussion of Paravastha form, continuation. And expect more summaries tomorrow, because we are only halfway through and we have only 3 days. So we gotta summarize stuff. Alright, thank you. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hare Hare Bol. All good.